why the design language of the Mercedes-Benz W124 is actually still so beautifully relevant today. I want to take you on a little historical review of this beautiful car. For us just to reminisce about what exactly it is that Mercedes-Benz did, what made it special, and why on earth did I choose to buy this car. One of the very important things was the fact that it wasn't round. The 123, which was the predecessor to the 124, was rounded. The Dash 8 before that, they were all rounded. And now Mercedes came with a lot of angles, lines, horizontal lines, vertical lines, things that people weren't very accustomed to, at least not in this car. But there was something special behind it because it became one of the most efficient and most aerodynamic cars of the late 80s in this size. Wait, something is missing though. There we go. And this is what a Mercedes-Benz W124 should look like. Of course, another very famous design cue for these are the Succo boards on the side from the main designer, Bruno Succo. Mercedes did this 100,000 cycles just to make sure that the mechanisms of the doors will actually last. And that's not to say that after 100,000 they tired. No, that's just to make sure that they can last at least 100,000. Which, if you would get in and out of your car 10 times a day, every single day, you would have more than 27 years before the test cycle is over. And still, perfect. Some people have said that this is probably one of the most beautiful Mercedes ever designed. The lines on this is just absolutely gorgeous, and the older the car gets, it matures. Another thing that we love about these cars is the fact that you've got so much space. I'm not going to open my boot lid because it's terribly full of stuff. 520 liters of boot space. You can't fold over the back seats. Somewhere in there is still the fuel tank. Yes, the fuel tank stands upright. But these cars are not without their issues, and probably the most prevalent issue, rust. What you really need to watch out for are these areas around your wheel arches. The same is true over here, that you don't have rust setting in. And these little guys over here, just make sure that where you put your jack to lift up the car, that those sections aren't terribly rusted. Please do get the car up on a hoist and look underneath your rear suspension that the rust bug hasn't eaten all of it away. Enough said about the exterior of the car. What about the interior? In here, the luxury just continues. Not so much the luxury as the quality thereof. 35 years later, my dashboard is still intact. I've got all these beautiful wooden trims. Also, on the sides of the doors, inserts of hard plastics, leather, but all of which is in such a condition that such a long time afterwards, there are no tears and cracks. The only problems that you do have, probably mostly on all of these cars, is behind me. The B-pillars are covered with sort of finished material. On this side, it actually looks fantastic still. But on the driver's side, where it was mostly used, the material on the outside, that has sort of become a little bit loose. These wooden portions, you do need to treat them. If you're going to leave them in the sun, they will bleach like this one. And they do tend to get some cracks in over there. So make sure that you protect them so that that doesn't happen. You've got your fan where it should go and how hot or cold it should be. There's no climate control in this. Your reading light for the folks at the back, hazards, and how to defrost your rear window. Here you've got your lighter and of course a non-real radio, and the original is here. Maybe I should just put this back in. The quality of the speakers, it's not amazing. There's a little button over here with which you could regulate if the people at the back should listen to more music or if you want to have it louder. Two asymmetrical mirrors. This one slightly larger for the driver, manually adjusted. That one electrically adjusted with this button over here. And as we said before, perfectly working sunroof 35 years later. That is incredible. Top over to the back. Nowadays, it seems to be quite a thing if you can actually sit comfortably in the back. Here, there's just so much space. It's a beautiful place to be. The comfort and the assurance that these seats give you, not to mention that the third person can actually sit here in the middle. But if there isn't anybody, you can just enjoy lovely Miss Daisy cruise. The quality of the materials are fantastic. And if you pull out this lever on the side, pushed in, it'll work on the rear backrest. Lovely place to be, this. This, of course, 2.3 liters, 4-cylinder inline. It's not gonna blow your hair back, but it's more than enough to take you wherever, whenever, however, no matter what the quality of the road. It's going to be comfortable and it's going to be reliable. It's mounted in this long, I can't pronounce it, longitudinal, because it is a rear wheel drive. This is connected to a 4-speed manual, a 4-speed automatic, or a 5-speed manual gearbox, and drives the rear wheels. I'm going to do a separate drive video right after this on how this car actually behaves on the road. A couple of things you want to look for: the piping over here just underneath your air filter, that is actually for the pressure that builds up in your tappet cover. Make sure that they're not as disintegrating. And then over here, your water reservoir for the cooling system sometimes can get a little bit brittle because it's right next to the outlet manifold. Things can get a bit hot over there. There's a little cavity over here that almost looks like it's intentional in case some oil pops out of your oil cap. It might be a good idea to sometimes just replace the oil cap. There is a bit of pressure that builds up inside of the top. Some of the oil might just press out there, but it's not the end of the world. Don't worry if you see that happening to your Mercedes. There's much more to say about this. We'll do that in a later video once we start building the car for our rally. That concludes our video of this beautiful 124 from 1990, my 230e, the car that I bought because I'm going to actually build this into an off-road rally car to drive across the Saharan Desert in Morocco next year. That is the purpose for this car. However, until such a time, I'm still going to be talking about what it's like driving it, the quality of the drive. And then I'll also do a POV where you can just listen and enjoy the drive. So if you're interested in those, then feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Drop me some comments and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Ciao.